Alright, so welcome along to a longer form video for a change. Short film content moving forward on this channel and all our channels, stuff I'm doing. Chances are it is still going to happen, not just in the way that you think it was going to happen. What I mean by that is I have talked a lot recently on the shorts content about chasing your dreams, going after the sort of things you want to do in life, and just being completely unapologetic about it, just scratching that itch. Because if you don't scratch an itch of something that you want to try in life, you're going to always think to yourself, what would happen if I did go after that and at least give it a shot? For me, I have done that a couple of times. Well, more than a couple of times. The thing about the last few attempts on the whole short film side of things, it wasn't fun. Let's just say out there. Just when I started out doing the indie film, short film sort of stuff, it was just a group of friends getting together with a similar interest, giving it a shot, getting out there, trying it. Failing more often than not, tripping over our own feet, learning as we went, but having a heck of a lot of fun along the way. And what put it in my head to talk about this today was I seen a video of gosh, his name has completely left me now. He played Count Dooku in Star Wars. Anyway, you know who I'm talking about. Dracula himself. Christopher Lee, I want to say. If I got that wrong, I do apologise. But there was a little interview with him, and he was talking about his casting in Star Wars. And the reason that he went for it was because George Lucas said to him, we're going to have a heck of a lot of fun making this movie. And he agreed to it simply because we're going to have a bit of fun on set making this film. So he jumped in there, done the movie. It is what it is. But he did say that is something that is sorely lacking in modern cinema, modern filmmaking. It's just the people are there to kind of big up their own egos and stuff like that there, and it's always so serious on set, whereas when he started out back in the day, it was always a lot of fun. And for me, that's what I loved most about the early days of the stuff that I was doing. Not that I've ever got anywhere with it really, a couple of hundred views here and there, that's about the height of it. But it's one of those things that I've tried it. If I don't do it again, I'm not going to regret it, but scratch that itch. Had a lot of fun, but as I say, the last couple of times, no fun whatsoever. And getting hauled over the coals for stuff that you're doing because you're all amateurs. All the stuff that I did as far as the short film stuff went, it wasn't people that were doing it full time. It's not like I'm a full time filmmaker, let's go do this sort of stuff. No, it's people that were interested in it. It was people that were going to school for it, but nobody was doing it full time. But you did have those egos on set, and I've been accused of having an ego myself, and I'm not going to lie, I do have a fairly big ego, but I not let it get in the way. My ego as like a healthy ego. I'm not going to be putting people down and whatnot, but you need to have a certain amount of ego and arrogance, you could say, to be doing this sort of thing in the first place, putting yourself out there. You have to be a bit of a show off, really, at the end of the day. But there was guys that I worked with, and one guy actually rang me up one night, and I just want to ring you up, and Peter, before you start, and I know you're watching this video, before you start typing on the keyboard here like blah 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 blah, this isn't you. This guy kind of butted heads with him on set. Yes, it is Josh, but he calls me up a few weeks after the thing's shot, and I'm sitting there editing it and putting it together and whatnot, and this guy rings me up out of the blue one evening and gets tore into me about how unprofessional I was on set. In particular, one thing was I started laughing during a shot that we were doing. it was just something simple where this guy walks through a door, he takes his jacket off, and he kind of throws it to the side and goes into the house. But the way the guy took the jacket off and kind of threw it, and he did this little pose whenever he actually let go of the jacket, I lost my shit. I started pissing myself, and he got at me. You know, that's just so unprofessional that you would do something like that there, and you should never do this sort of stuff again. And he just, in his mind, he couldn't have any fun with it. But I cracked back straight away. I was just like, you know what? I didn't say nothing on the shoot because we are all amateurs. We're all there doing it just for the sake of trying to learn something new, put something out there. But you know, this guy did stuff that got under my skin, and you know, wasn't going out of my way to get onto the phone or tackle him about what I felt wasn't being done right on set. But I was just like, okay, here's the score. I'm like, you know, everybody is entitled to their own opinion, but don't ever call me up and tell me I am completely unprofessional whenever on a 2-day shoot you show up an hour late the first day, an hour late the second day. Point blank refused to shoot one thing I wanted you to shoot that day, and we had to do it in pickups on the third day, and then didn't even bother showing his face for the third day. So this guy didn't finish the job that he started, essentially. Like, he'd done the 2-day shoot, got the movie done, but he didn't get those extra shots. And whenever we tried to get the gang back together, he point blank refused to do it because I am so unprofessional. So he gets on the phone to give off stick to get there, and I just fed it back to him. I'm just like, you know, this is what you did that was completely unprofessional. If you start a job, you flipping finish the job. All that to say, there's no fun in it. There's really no fun in it anymore. Like people just can't get on to that sort of thing and just have a little bit of fun with it now. And with the whole DEI thing floating about these days, it's only getting worse. I did be playing about there. You know, there's my England away again, completely unprofessional. Yeah, I was doing a little bit of writing on a few things over the years. Like, I haven't stopped. I haven't made any short film content now in a lot of years at this point, but I didn't stop not trying it. I think I've been writing on and off a few things, and I actually floated an idea about 3 years ago with someone, and they were like, "Wait, this idea isn't bad, but you need to change up the characters a little bit in here." And I'm like, "What do you mean by the characters need to change them up?" It was, who is this character? What is their preferences, let's just say, in the bedroom? And the little thing I was writing at that point was like a little horror sort of a thing where a guy's camping in the forest, and he gets attacked by a couple of nutcases. You know, we kind of like a little bit of the short film Lurker I did, but with a little bit of Texas Chainsaw Massacre threw out within there, and like, it's only like a 4 or 5 minute short sort of a thing. But I'm like, okay, this guy is camping in the forest. What has his... He gets attacked by a couple of lunatics. What does his, you know, preferences sexually have to do with this little short film? But that's where we're at these days. You have to justify the existence of your characters not because of what they're doing in the short film, but because of who they're sleeping with. It's really flipping insane. You've been seeing this stuff in Hollywood for a long, long time now. But it's just random people on the internet that I'm talking to these days that's still kind of in there. You know, it's getting ingrained in people. And you've seen it in the likes of Star Wars, Star Trek in particular these days is shocking for it. But it's just something that... And I'm not against people being who they want to be in life. That's got absolutely nothing to do with it. You know, if someone wants to be gay, trans, whatever it might be, whatever they want to do with themselves, I'm happy days. I was like, flipping go for it. But you know, what you do And the privacy of your own private life has got absolutely nothing to do with me or anything we're doing as far as someone's going to be going public. It's just, it's weird to me. Let's just put it that way. But that's where it is, the current state of the industry. Not that I'm a part of it really, but you decide to make something, you want to put it out there. At some point, you would like to get yourself a little bit more seen. Let's just say, oh, this guy has produced some fantastic content. Let's bring him on board for something else, and let his creativity get in there and see if we can make something fantastic with him. But when you get there, every idea is shot down because you're not woke enough. And I'll be completely honest with you, I'm not. Really, I'm not. To a certain extent, yes. I'm just thinking, whatever you're doing, whatever you want to do, God bless you. Tear away. You do your thing. It's got nothing to do with me. That's between you and your own partners and that there. But, the fact for me that someone's private sexual life that has got absolutely nothing to do with where they work or what they're doing is such a big part of it now. You have to entertain all this sort of stuff. Like somebody walks in and says, hello there, I am, just to let you know, I am 100% gay. And I'm just like, that never happened up until the last 7 or 8 years. And, I've had more friends than enough over the years that were openly gay about it. But it was never, like, nobody ever walked in and just, like, I do this and I do that. And they're just like, you figure out this guy's gay and that's the end of it. But all that to be said, and I've been bantering on for a heck of a long time now, 12 minutes. The short film content that I've been writing over the last, let's just say 10 plus years at this point, there's quite a few things there that aren't going to go out in that form. I'm actually working on a different way now, a different delivery method for the stuff that I've been working on. It might be interesting, might not be interesting, but it is what it is. It's just the short film stuff. It's not paying off the way you would like to see it paying off, and you would think after the last couple of short films I did, were, you're talking probably 12 years at this point, and no further forward than we were the day we actually finished it off, put it online. That's just the nature of the beast these days. If you're not constantly creating, constantly putting something out there, you're completely invisible. And even if you are constantly putting stuff out there, you're at the bottom of the algorithms in a way. You have to work with the system. Like, people are thinking to themselves, I'm just that flipping good at something. I'll create something, put it online, people are going to see it, and I'm going to be a millionaire overnight. Doesn't work that way. That's fantasy land. I would love it if it worked that way. And at a time, it did work that way online, but not now. People took advantage of the system so much back then that it's actually like, if you want to create something and use the like of YouTube and that there as a delivery method for it, your stuff's not going to be seen unless you're actually working for it. That the days of that one hit wonder are completely gone now. You might get the odd little viral thing here and there, but the next time you upload, you're at the bottom of the scale again. You just don't depend on the whole virality of stuff these days to get your stuff out there. It doesn't work. It's not going to work. And yeah, there's a lot of reasons these days why I don't want to go down that road. Probably more so the egocentric, if that's even the proper use of that word in this. But people just like, look at me, blah blah blah, I'm so flipping professional. Just think, man, sit down there and shut your face. You're no further up the ladder than what the rest of us are at this point. Sit down, work as a team, or go home, more or less. But yeah, for me, I've scratched that itch. I'm not going to be doing it again. I'm not going to write it off completely. Sometime in the future, some of these projects that I've got sitting on the back burner, even though they're going to be put out in a different delivery system, doesn't mean that at some point, if the opportunity does arises, I'm going to go and give it a little shot one more time. But yeah, not with the current attitudes of people. Hopefully, having said all that, moving forward we might get a little bit of a rude awakening over the next few years, because a lot of these guys that are very, look at me, I'm so professional, they're the guys that are going to be really shitting themselves at this point over the whole AI thing. Like, there's a lot of guys sitting out there in their ass on laptops doing this, that, and the other, that a little AI program could easily do without you having to invest a mess load of money into some guy to sit there and go through everything and I'm going to produce this for you. Pay me a certain amount of money. And I'm just like, go kiss my ass. I have got a whole layout set down here that flipping Grok, of all things, laid out for me. So, yeah, I've got a few ideas in mind moving forward. And it's going to delve into a little bit more of the humorous side of everything instead of the crazy, I'm so flipping professional. You need to watch me. I'm such a great filmmaker because I bought the little beret and I've got the scarf on and ooh la la. Just because you dress like one of these mad filmmakers you would see walking about at Cannes, that doesn't make you a filmmaker. Doesn't make you a creative at all. Just makes you a tit and a beret and scarf. So yeah, big changes coming. Going to be letting the real personality out more and more as I'm moving forward. You've seen a little bit of it in this video here, mind you. Still trying to be very careful in what way I use my words, because you kind of have to these days. As I said earlier in the video, you kind of have to work with the system now. It's not a matter of, putting something up there and breaking the system. It doesn't work that way. People took advantage for so long now. The machines are learning. And I'm up for it. AI, chances are it's probably going to kill us somewhere along the line, but for now it's going to be a bit of a reset for a lot of things. And in all fairness, I have seen a lot more ethics with AI than I've had with real people in life, because you come up with an idea that's borderline, oh, we shouldn't do this sort of thing, but you always have somebody in there in your little team that's like, screw it, let's just do that because that'll be class. And you run that idea through an AI program these days, it'll turn around and tell you, okay, you shouldn't do this idea because A, B, C, and especially D. There's a big legal thing here that if you go down this road, you're going to end up getting shafted, and it's crazy these days that you're getting a more ethical side from the machine than you are from actual humans. It's crazy. It is what it is. But that's going to do it for this video. A little bit longer than I was expecting it to be, but yeah, longer form content is back. So guys, until the next episode, stay safe and I will talk to you all then.